Participating Lakers.
He looks like he's trying to shake it off, but yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna have. I mean, this playoffs are gonna be a shit show. But well, I mean,
No,
see how it goes.
there's a lot of teams that are overly good than what they really are. This was a really like just weird season. You had a team in this season that did not play in its stadium. This was not normal basketball. This was something else. But still, like I think now that the playoffs are here, now that some normalcy is coming back to the world as much as there could possibly be, I think now you're gonna see real basketball now. Um, I'm hyped. I'm hyped. Sam, one last thing about being live, right?
Yep.
When the play happened, it was so incredible that even Iron Eagle, who's usually not speechless, nothing makes Iron Eagle speechless, but he was speechless, didn't say anything, and then like 2 seconds later he goes, phenomenal. that that fucked my head up because he was so shocked in the moment. Like he was like, Durant, phenomenal.
Well, because like when I listened to the broadcast after, he was just already shocked by the Blake Griffin behind the back. Like he was already like
Right.
he was already like whatever happens at this point. Like Blake Griffin just pulled off a kind of no look behind the back pass that went forward perfectly to another player. Like but no, I mean it was fucking crazy, and it's kind of like an epitome of it was kind of a microcosm of the entire season a little bit, right? It was like it was everyone involved, all in different ways, all putting their touch on it. And I liked KD's like little statement after the game of like, we're not a big three, we're
a big 15.
And I actually
They're a big three. I like the sentiment, Kevin. Kevin, I want to believe you, but I've seen James Harden play, okay? Kyrie Irving just had a 50-40-90 season. That's not normal. Like that just, players just don't walk into the NBA and do that. It's most definitely a big three. But it's nice though.
I also wanted my friend that I was with, he said something that I thought was super smart. And I can't remember if Bam, if you've tweeted about this before also. But one thing that Nash has done that I think is like kind of out of the Popovich playbook a little bit is he's basically at this point played every role player with every kind of iteration of the big three.
Bam said that earlier in the podcast.
Okay, I'm glad he said this. It is a really just fucking smart thing that Nash has done. Like it's kind of like how Pop would Pop would always sit his all-stars on the ABC televised games in the regular season because he's like, I want you guys to feel what it's like to play when like a lot of America's watching or a lot of the NBA world is watching. Like it's kind of under the same guys. It's like every single lineup basically is a different iteration. I think it's like
I don't want to see TLC play at all, ever.
I know. I think I'm the only one left on TLC Island.
Nah, I'm off the TLC. Like TLC, nah, that's China. Sheng Wang Pandas for you next year, TLC.
Well, I think you'll see is TLC, Perry, obviously, Johnson, and James probably won't play.
Nah, James is
in
playing
the postseason.
I think James.
You think so?
Oh yeah, it's not smart. I feel like they could stagger Kyrie, Harden, and Durant. Like they can open and close with those guys, but you could stagger them in the middle where one of them is on the floor at all times. But I've noticed that Kyrie and Kevin like to play together. It's a little bitch ass, but I mean I get it, I guess. What do you think about that, guy?
I don't think James is gonna get minutes. I really don't. I would be very surprised.
I mean, you're making me happy because I think James's role to me should basically be like our team is playing like shit. We need someone to basically step up and basically be a little bit of like some microwave scoring, and that's when he should get in because like
the only thing that stops James from playing. The only thing that stops James from playing, I think he's gonna play for guys. The only thing that stops him from playing is if Spencer comes back. And that's going to be the last question for the night, gentlemen. Is Spencer coming back?
I don't even know if I want him to come back. And I was saying, it's like, you want to like figure out working him back into the rotation in like the second round. It's like, it's just too much. It's too many moving parts again.
It really is. That's a good argument, even though I want to see Spencer earn his ring. I want to see him hit a big shot. And, against the Bucks. And I think I would rather have him than Mike James.
But I don't think James is going to play, so.
What say you, Sam I am? You think Mike James is not going to play? You think Spencer might take up those minutes?
So I unfortunately think that James will play in the playoffs. How much I don't know, but I mean I've been nervous for a while now about him taking Tyler's minutes. As it pertains to the Spencer thing, it's funny. I didn't even consider the whole like, do I even want him back? Because it's always been like, oh, it would be so awesome to have him. Like whatever. I actually think Bam might be spot on. Like it does seem like it's like beyond Spencer like trying to fit him in, another guy to fit in. He also, I think, has a certain personality. He's got a massive chip on his shoulder and loves to prove it to everyone. And it's like, I mean, this isn't us plugging in like, I'm trying to think of a decent. This isn't like trying to plug in. If Tyler Johnson was coming off of an injury, it's like a guy who's like pretty seamless and just likes to play his role. Like Dinwiddie's got. Dinwiddie also has the money component also, which like is something that you can't.
Yeah, I think they're gonna pay him. If they weren't gonna pay him, they would have traded him. They're gonna pay him. They're gonna pay him.
If they won it this year without him, why would you pay him? You've proven you don't need him, and with the tax bill, you're gonna pay him like $60 million for a guy.
I think they want Kyrie insurance. I think they want Kyrie insurance. I think. Kyrie did a hell of a job.
But I don't see it happening.
It doesn't. If they win a championship this year, the money isn't a thing. Like honestly, they're just gonna fortify themselves to win a championship again, and they're better with Spencer. They're deeper with Spencer. He's one of their guys. I just don't see them letting him get away unless someone comes and gives him ignorant money. He should probably get Joe Harris money.
He's going to get like a Fred VanVleet. He's probably going to get a Fred VanVleet type thing, like 4 years, 80, 4 years, 84, whatever.
Yeah. He's getting $20 million a year.
Yeah.
But I do think, it's the Dinwiddie thing is interesting because my gut kind of goes to what Bam said, which is basically like, look, if they let's say they win or they go to the finals, like it's hard for me to say that they're going to basically pay an unbelievable tax for him. But at the same time, like he clearly has some type of sweet spot on this team. And the trade piece is interesting because Marks is someone that maximizes like value when he has it.
Yeah.
And so it is weird that he wouldn't have traded Dinwiddie in a piece for something because I'm sure he could have gotten something out there that probably could have been of use. Unless like they didn't make a move because of all the guys they signed. I mean, they also thought. I mean, the hilarious thing to me about the whole Nets thing is, a month ago or whatever it was, a month and a half ago, you look at the Nets roster today that basically had 100 points almost before the third quarter, and I get Cleveland is Cleveland, but like Harden, Harris, Marcus Aldridge all aren't playing today. Just like it's fucking insane. Like it's like really fucking crazy. Like, Eve has some iconic tweets of like we're taking over the fucking world. Like it's over. Like Brooklyn in 3, not even.
Nah, 4. Man, I believe it. I like this. I don't know why anyone would like hold back. And like this team is a juggernaut. This team is indomitable. Like I've never seen anything like this before, and I don't know why. One, it's like sometimes that some Nets fans are apologetic, or they wanna say like everything else is silly. Like it's silly. It's silly to talk it's silly to live in this city and not watch the Nets every night. Even though it's incredibly our television ratings are better than the Knicks, and the Knicks are winning. But I think that tells you that people are watching that aren't Nets fans, that aren't one of us. They're just watching to just see good basketball. Like I'm watching these 91-point games, these 109-point games from these other teams, and if you watch a Nets game, come on, man, like our scrubs are good. Our scrubs are good, Bam. I don't think you give them.
Everybody on the team can score.
Every single person can put the ball in the bucket. It's incredible. It's incredible. I'm not bashful. This team, if they don't win a championship, something went wrong with health or something went wrong with Nash. I hate to put it all on him, but the talent is there. James Harden knows the talent. Like, you know what team this is? You want to know what this team is, Bam? And you're going to agree with me finally. This is the Houston Rockets with Kyrie. The Houston Rockets team that went to 7 games with the Golden State Warriors with Kyrie and KD. That's what this team is. That's what this team is.
Yeah, but you know what? Look, they still got to rebound. You know, they got to do all the little things too. You know, they can't give up, 25, 30 more shots to teams like Philly, to teams like the Lakers. Those teams will beat you if you do that. So they got to keep their turnovers low. They got to minimize the rebounding. And if they do that, I don't see teams outscoring them 4 times.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys...
How are you going to outscore this team 4 times? How?
Getting 30 more shots than they do.
Yeah, that's the other right. That's the way that you beat them.
That's not good. But that's why I want them to play Nick Claxton. I think Nick Claxton, actually, if I'm telling the truth, on the eye test alone, I hope someone doesn't embarrass me with a stat that says different. But Bruce Brown seems to get the rebounds that, big men don't get. I don't know if that would work against the Sixers, but Bruce Brown gets
every loose ball.
Every single loose ball, Bruce Brown gets it.
He went from the guy, Eve, I called him, you had the iconic line that I've told everyone, I always give you credit, that he went from the guy who looks like he's like the circus acrobatic guy at halftime doing flips,
yeah.
and who I called the guy that just wanted to be in the montage video of the championship, to like, he's fucking important. Like he's and they all love him. Like I don't know if you guys follow on on social or whatever. Like, Harden, Durant, Kyrie, they all fucking love. Like of all the guys that aren't part of the big 3 or aren't DeAndre, I guess. Like everyone is all in on Bruce. Like
if you look at Shamit's face, sometimes he's looking at KD and Kyrie like, do I belong here? Am I supposed to be here? But Bruce Brown is the type of dude that it's like to me, he still looks like one of the tumblers with the headband. There's one particular tumbler that's at Barclays Center all the time that he particularly looks like. But that's what I think he is. But but if you look at his confidence, sometimes he shrugs KD off. Like KD will touch him on the shoulder, he'll shrug KD off. Like who does? Like these guys are confident. I really don't understand Mike James' confidence, but I think we talked about that already. But Bruce Brown feels like he belongs, man. I think he's going to do some special things for us. I just don't like his size against some of these bigger monster teams, man.